Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Octopus Electric Vehicles live stream of the new ID.3. Now, the car is sat outside in front of me. You can see that I'm looking at you and I'm trying to work out what's going on with my software here. However, welcome, have a seat and understand a little bit more about this car. The way we're going to work it today is going to be slightly different because I'm by myself. So it's going to make for a slightly more interesting way of working. Our secret squirrel, Ollie, is not in the room today. So I'm going to have to do everything myself. However, what we're going to do is we've made a review video. We've made quite a sort of 12-minute long review video, which we will publish up on here and we'll let you watch right now. What's then going to happen is I'll come back on and we'll have a chat around the car. We'll have a chat around what's going on with different things in the car and really open it up to that Q&A, hoping to be finished by 7 o'clock because I know that we've got things like dinner and children and all that jazz to get sorted. However, before we start, I just want to make it super clear about why we're here. At Octopus, it's always about making sure we're getting the right car for you. And that means listening to what you're saying, understanding who you are, and presenting a complete solution to you. That involves getting a car, a charger, and renewable energy tariff, all under one roof, to make it as easy and as quick as possible to get you into an electric car. If you can walk, if you can cycle, then we absolutely implore you to do that as well. But if you have to get a car, do get an electric one. It makes all the difference in the fight against climate change, and it makes all the difference in the fight against inner city air pollution. Before we show you the video, I want to give you a brief look into sort of my understanding of this car. I saw this car in Frankfurt. What's that? Nearly 18 months ago. In fact, more than that. September 2019. I sat in it. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was very what needed to be for what we have or what we need in this electric vehicle world. And I can see how VW can take this and grow with it and grow their electric portfolio with it and have more and more cars like this on the road. There's one thing that I do say in the video about the car, which I will talk about afterwards, and we can go into a little bit more depth about that as well and chat a little bit about what I mean exactly by what I have said. I've also got my phone. Now, this might be a little bit like Inception when I pick this up and show you it because you'll be seeing yourself back through and through and through. But if people do want to go out and have a look around the car, then we can absolutely do that as well. It's just outside, but as I said, the transition won't be as professional as last time because Ollie isn't here. So there'll be some clicking that I'll need to do to get that sorted. You'll see me put my jacket on because unfortunately in this part of London, it looks like it's threatening to rain. And then we'll get out and have a quick look around the car as well. If there's anything in particular, you want to see the boot, you want to see the interior, you want to see anything like that, then let us know. Also, if in the upload of this video we're struggling with any bandwidth or anything like that, we will absolutely publish this afterwards. The key thing here to take away is, does this car fit into your life? If this car does the job you need it to do, then let us know and we can absolutely work out how best to get it on your driveway. If it doesn't fit into your life, have a chat. Let's work out what's going on and let's work out why it maybe doesn't. But without further ado, I'll introduce you to the ID.3 filmed earlier today when it was sunny. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A about what I think about the car and what it's like on Octopus. So here we go. Welcome to ID.3, the Volkswagen that's gone electric. It sits on the road in a similar stature to the Volkswagen Golf. And for Volkswagen, it's going to replace the Golf. We saw that the e-Golf was hugely popular when it first came out. However, this car has more range, it has more options, and allows you to really build a car that works for you
for what you need it to do. At Octopus, we would love to help you make sure you get the right car for you, especially if it's about talking about spec, about ID.3. The reason it's called ID.3 is because Volkswagen see this as the third time they have reinvented themselves. First was the Beetle, second was the Golf, and now, replacing the Golf, ID.3. ID will be a full family of electric vehicles, from a small city car all the way through to a VW camper called the ID Buzz. However, take 2 minutes to have a short look around this car, and we'll be back with a more in-depth interior look after that short video. So this is the interior of ID.3. It doesn't look like it's too out there if you take away the orange accenting. So when you look inside, that orange accenting does play a trick on the eye. However, you can see the seats are very comfortable. You have that armrest as well, and very much what you'd expect from VW. As you get in, you can see that there's buttons here that are actually haptic touch. So when you press them, they bounce back against your finger, letting you know that you've touched them. The other things you can see are this screen in here, which is your main screen for doing everything. Things from your navigation to your car settings to your charging, all done on the screen here. You also have these buttons along the bottom, which are actually touch buttons, so they don't move. That feels a little bit strange when you first do it, but as you get on, it's absolutely fine. The same down in here for your lights. Now I'm going to try and get that round the steering wheel so you can see and get it in focus for us. There we go. So all of your lighting controls are done in here, along with your demist on the rear and on the front. Again, they are just a simple touch. They are not a press and click. The same can be said for on the steering wheel, except these ones move and bounce back and let you know that you've touched them. All your traditional lighting and indicators are done on the stocks as you would normally find, very similar to what you'd find in a Golf there. To turn the car on, once you're sat down and pressing the brake, you simply twist here to go into drive, or pull back to go into reverse. If you want to get into regen mode, you go once, you go a second time, and then you're in what they call B, which you can see just in here. That is what is regen mode and allows you that one pedal driving of just lifting off that throttle. Now that play and pause are specific to the first edition. Now this car has come from VW, so it is a first edition, so it does have some little accents that are slightly different to the normal car. Those play and pause being one of them. Now one thing that did strike me about driving this car was just how much regen there wasn't when you were in D. So when you're in drive and you're not on regen, there's a lot of free rolling to be done. However, there is a lot of regenning happening under your braking foot at that point. You've got a couple of cup holders and some storage space back here, which is easily selectable. You can change things in here. You can move this backwards and forwards, and you have some USB-C chargers in there as well, which will couple for Apple CarPlay if you so wish. In the back, you can see there's a lot of room. Now that seat is a little bit further back than I would even have it anyway. So you can see there's a lot of room, and you can see those ISOFIXes down at the bottom there of those seats, allowing you to get extra car seats and children in the car. What you'll also see is there's another seat tether down here, allowing for the front seat to have ISOFIX as well. As we come round to the back, one of the main things about this car from VW is that it has the space of a Passat. Even though it's built on the footprint size of a Golf, so what I mean by that is that the size and shape of the exterior is like a Golf, the interior has much more space brought back to it because of the miniaturization of the power unit. Electric power units are much smaller, and therefore they are much dinkier and easier to fit in the car. No under storage except a little safety kit, as you would normally expect in a petrol car, but you have all of this space in the rear here, which is quite large for what it is. Again, the seats fold flat, and you also have a ski hatch, the same as in some of its competitors, to allow you to have things that sit through there. You can see all the way through to the front of the car there. I quite like that shot, just a little bit silly. You'll also see you've got the tethers here as well, so if we can get in and get the light on them, there we go. You can see you've got your tether for your ISOFIX there and there, and you've got a third one in the middle there as well. If we pull back, you'll see that boot with slightly better lighting there. You know, the outside will be pretty bright. The sun is shining here in North London. To charge the car, you have a flap on the outside, just as you would normally expect. Now you can see in here that you have your AC and your DC connections for charging. The top one obviously is your Type 2, and the bottom one there is your CCS. I've had this car charging at close to 125 kilowatt hours, which is really quite quick, up close to 200 plus miles an hour. In fact, I've had more than that. I've had 5 miles a minute, which takes it closer to 300 miles an hour. Also, when the car is charging, this LED bar across the front of the car that also interacts with other things lights up red to green as the battery starts to fill up. One thing I would say about where the charger is located is I have taken it to one charger on the North Circular, which has a charger on the road side of the car, so over here, and obviously with it parked there and on a dual carriageway, it's a real struggle to get round, but that's only on that one occasion. Everything else has been really clever. You can see just the amount of space that this car has, and VW have done a lot of work to allow you to personalise it as well. There are huge things that can be done on the configurator. You have many, many, many cars, which will allow you to make different decisions about what you're going to be using the car for. Our specialists at Octopus will help you make those decisions. So, what do I think about VW ID.3? I really loved it. I've had it for a few weeks now, 3 weeks, and it feels like a long-term loaner that actually I could live with every single day. It's not overly special, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that it feels like a normal Volkswagen, and I think that's really important. My uncle Ronnie, I remember growing up only having Volkswagens. I remember he would drive us in his Golf GTI through the Clyde Tunnel home, because it wasn't really on the way home, but we went under a tunnel, which I was super excited about. But all the way through, he was buying VWs because they do exactly what they say on the tin. And this is no exception. If you're looking at your first electric car, if you're looking for an electric car for the family, if you're looking for a car to do the job, this is it. You get inside it and it feels tactile, it feels well built, it feels robust. It just feels like a VW. I think for me, I started saying hello ID.3 in the morning, which is a little bit weird, but it does have some quirky features. The charging feature, which I think we will show you in the video, and also the fact that it winks at you when you come out in the morning. The eyes follow you and say hello with the lights there, which actually feels like, when you read about it, could be a little bit gimmicky, but it's like coming home to a friend. And I think that's really what this is. If you are a VW driver, or if you've been used to driving VW, this will fit right into your life, as long as we get it all right with everything else we do here at Octopus. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button down below, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
So what I was wanting to clarify was that bit about me saying that it wasn't special. I just wanted to say that it's not that it didn't impress me and it didn't blow me away. I thought the car itself was actually really, really incredible. What I meant by it wasn't special was that it didn't have anything that I looked at and thought that scares me, or that confuses me, or that doesn't work for me. What it did do was, for somebody like my dad, who, how would I put this? My dad doesn't enjoy driving. He doesn't enjoy cars. He's not a petrol head or a reformed petrol head or into his EVs at all. He just needs a car to get from where he lives in a seaside town in Scotland all the way to his school. My mum, on the other hand, she actually enjoys the interaction with the machine. She used to ride bikes when she was growing up or when she was younger. So actually we can have a discussion about racing cars, and we can have a discussion about driving and seeing that skill and that art coming out in there, which means that if you have a car that's very much built towards that, maybe with a slightly stronger suspension or something that rattles you a little bit or bounces and makes you feel like it's not too great, yeah, of course. But if you are like my dad and you don't enjoy the drive, every knock or bump is potentially something going wrong, the idea of having a car that's super reliable, super robust, and feels normal is really important. And I think electric cars have almost come of age in as much as that they don't need to be gimmicky anymore. They don't need to have something that blows people's minds. Some cars do, but this car in particular sort of sits there and goes, I can do everything you need me to do. I can do everything you need me to do, and it's not that hard. And I think that's what I meant by it's not that special. Not that it's not good, not that it's actually astounding. It's that if you were driving a Golf and you stepped into this, you would just enjoy the electric drive. You'd go, oh, this is really smooth. But everything else feels like it's in the right place and it's doing the right thing. And I think for a lot of people, that will be a really, really strong thing. Now, if there are any questions, please pop them in the chat panel right now, either on YouTube or on Facebook. You're more than welcome to pop them in there. Send me a message. Let me know what's going on. We've got about 5 minutes. So if there aren't any questions, and we probably won't go out and see the car, it's getting a little bit dark here. But please do think about that idea of being that car. As I said, it's the first electric car that I've had for a long period of time, barring my own. And I used to have a Renault Twizy well before 2012, 2013, I had a Renault Twizy. And that very specifically felt, how do I put it? You turned heads. and you made people look at you, and you had people asking questions. With this car, I think it will turn heads because of how it looks a little bit futuristic, and people do look at you on the motorway going, what is that car? However, I don't think in 5 or 6 years' time, people will look back and go, yeah, it was an out there car. I think it's a very safe bet, a very good first EV. When it comes to driving it, really lovely driving. Steering wheel's a bit big, so because the steering wheel's a little bit bigger, it's very light, but that's a personal preference. That's not something for anybody else. The seating position and everything in there, you can move it, you can customize it. That's all nice and easy. And actually, with the armrest down, hand on the steering wheel, both hands there, it was really enjoyable on the motorway. The efficiency in the town is unbelievable. Really, really strong efficiency from Volkswagen. On the motorway, however, not so much. I think it's been geared very much for a city car, but the charging that I've experienced with it has been very, very good. Another car that I had not too long ago sort of said it was one charge rate, and then actually when you took it to chargers, it was half of what it should have been. And that wasn't just how full the battery was. I tried it fairly full, I charged it fairly empty, and it didn't really make a difference. Whereas this, never disappointed. It never felt like I was going to go and charge for 20 minutes and then that turned into half an hour. It was always actually in front of what I expected. I drove to the beach. It was fantastic, and charged as well. Charged it yesterday because it was getting collected tomorrow, and I wanted it to have some charge in it to be able to go. Yeah, I can't really have anything bad to say about it. I think if you lived at the end of a country road, like a long country road, and you are used to having something a little bit sportier, you might not enjoy quite how smooth and how nimble, or not nimble, how easy it is to drive. You might want something with a little more feedback. But for the city, for the family, I thought it was really a really strong car in that respect. I can see there are no questions coming through, so I will leave everybody to the rest of their evening. We will upload the video separately as well, so you can watch it there. But if there are any more questions, thank you ever so much. We look forward to seeing you again soon on another video just like this to get you up to speed with another car. Not too sure exactly what car that is going to be just yet, but bear with us. We'll announce it on Twitter fairly soon, and we'll let you know all about that. Thank you ever so much. We look forward to seeing you again soon.